Don't unlock that secondary weapon rack, Lieutenant. Seriously, just keep your claws away from the manual release and listen to me. The air inside the captured Terran cargo bay did not just feel cold. It bit into my lungs like shards of glass. It smelled of heavy hydraulic oil, dry packing foam, and the sharp, sour tang of old copper. My secondary hearts were hammering against my ribs so hard it felt like they would burst through my scales. I am Commander Vaughn of the 7th Hegemony Fleet. I have led planetary blockades, survived heavy plasma fire, and managed multi-generational spreadsheets of confiscated enemy hardware. I thought I knew exactly what an engine of destruction looked like. Our boarding party had completely secured the human freighter. We had lined up the crew against the metallic bulkheads, their hands clamped behind their heads, their small frames shivering under the low-power night cycles. They looked like standard logistics workers. Small, unarmored, soft-skinned. To finalize the asset liquidation, our primary military coordinator walked down the line to inspect their cargo manifests. We were looking for hidden plasma cells, illicit kinetic repeaters, or illegal stealth matrices. Then, the High Coordinator stopped in front of a heavy, dented titanium crate. Inside was nothing but a long, solid steel bar with a heavy, thick lump of forged iron welded to one end. It had a frayed rubber grip wrapped around the handle, stained with dark grease and sweat. It possessed 0 power cells. No energy emitter, no targeting laser, no localized gravitational stabilizers. It was completely inert. The alien commander let out a short, clicking laugh, his mechanical translator broadcasting his absolute amusement through the bay. "That's not a weapon," he sneered, tossing the object back into the crate with a loud, metallic clatter. "It's a crude structural tool for shifting heavy machinery. A primitive club. Humans truly are a pathetic species if your vessels rely on such garbage for defense." The human engineer standing at the end of the line, a short, heavily scarred woman with her sleeves rolled up, exposing bare, pink skin, didn't drop her gaze. She didn't beg for mercy or cower under his aristocratic glare. Instead, well, she did something that completely shattered our entire military doctrine. She slowly lowered her hands from her head, stepped out of the lineup against the guard's orders, and let out a low, gritty chuckle that filled the acoustic chamber of the bay. She grinned. "Depends who's swinging it, lizard," she murmured. She didn't use an electronic amplifier. She just opened her throat and spoke with a calm, terrifying confidence that sent a strange chill straight down my spine. Before the guards could even cycle the safety parameters on their plasma halberds, the woman lunged forward. Her movements weren't calculated by a high-tech combat computer. It was raw, explosive, unrefined human muscle. She snatched the iron bar out of the crate in one fluid motion, using the momentum to swing the heavy lump of iron directly into the knee joint of our primary security guard. Crack! It wasn't a clean, silent energy burn. It was a brutal, bone-shattering impact that broke the guard's localized kinetic plating instantly. The 7-foot-tall warrior collapsed onto the floorboards with a heavy, ungraceful thud, letting out a throat-shredding scream of pure agony. All caps for emphasis cannot describe the absolute, paralyzing panic that choked our entire boarding squad right then. We expected a civilized firefight where our energy shields could calculate the incoming thermal energy. Instead, the terrifying exclusion zone of a human's physical reach had just turned the cargo bay into a slaughterhouse. The remaining guards fired their plasma sidearms, the bright blue bolts illuminating the dark room. But the human didn't run. She didn't wait for squad cover. She used the heavy steel bar like a shield, her arm shaking violently from the impact of the heat, but she refused to back down. She ducked under a tracking beam, closed the distance in 2 rapid strides, and brought the iron lump down directly onto the commander's primary command console. The high-tech interface violently short-circuited, spraying green sparks and thick smoke into the air. The entire ship's automated defense grid went completely dead, plunging the bay into a suffocating red emergency strobe light. I left the capture zone around the third watch, my scales feeling tight and dry from the absolute stress of watching our tactical worldview turn to dust. I couldn't sleep. I had to know what the ledger looked like. I checked the medical bay readouts of our surviving crew. A single human with a piece of scrap metal had decommissioned an entire elite Vanguard unit in less than 4 minutes. Our primary coordinator spent the morning printing out his immediate retreat orders, his hand shaking so badly he dropped his signet ring into the drainage valve. He knew the occupation was finished. The fleet couldn't maintain control through psychological dominance when our most advanced armor was being shattered by basic industrial tools. Alien logic says that when a tool lacks a power cell and an energy matrix, it is harmless. Alien logic says that a civilized soldier only fears an advanced weapon system. But humans, their evolutionary history means that when they are cornered, they don't look for a spreadsheet of tactical options. They just grab the heaviest, hardest object within arm's reach, look into the eyes of the most advanced military force in the cosmos, and decide to turn your high-tech invasion into a simple construction project. They will walk right through your plasma fire, look right past your genetic dominance, and break your entire empire with a piece of old iron before the sun even hits the horizon. The Imperial databases are completely useless now. The High Council can keep upgrading the thermal thickness of our energy shields, but it won't change the baseline reality of the sector. So, next time a Terran engineer grins at you while holding a common maintenance tool and your tactical computers tell you it's not a weapon, don't wait for the scanning report. Don't run the numbers. Just run.